So we're free lunging, but it's the same body language as lunging, all but one thing. We call him in, like she's doing now, by stepping towards him and then rocking back, maybe stepping back using her arm gesture. And he'll come in and get some lovin' on his head. And then she'll go to his side to get him to go the new direction. So she'll step to his left side. No, she didn't. Well, she should have stepped to his left side and then pointed left. But she's still half asleep. And then he'll start walking the new direction. She'll make sure she's behind him. So on a lunge line, we actually ask him to halt on the line, and then we go to him. That's your personal preference if you want to bring him in. I just don't like the hazard of the lunge line maybe getting stepped on. So she's having to push the walk right now. He's still just warming up. And then she'll ask him to trot, and all this is the same on the lunge line. When she asks him to trot, she'll just raise the lunge whip and hold it up, like pointing it over his rump. And she'll do that after he's walked a little bit this direction. She's just staying behind him, keeping an active walk. Because this round pen is so big, we have to travel a little, especially with the lazy ones. We have to walk a little bit of a circle too, depending on how lazy they are. So now she's asking him to trot. She's holding it up. And then if he hadn't trotted, while still holding it up after maybe a second, she would have said his name, and then he may trot then. And if not, then she would have said trot. And if still not, she would have maybe cracked the whip or done something. So in other words, it's just the visual, then the verbal, then the physical. Physical being, cracking the whip or something like that. So he starts out a little bit unlevel sometimes. He looks pretty good. And he'll warm up. And it's actually best to start him tracking right. We just didn't think of it in this case, but it's such a big circle, it's probably fine. But when he's tracking right, you don't see that unlevel movement. And then he warms up a little better. Why don't you call him in and get him tracking right? So even if he was trotting, she could ask him to come in. She's just going to kind of come towards him, put her hand out, step back, rock back. He's ignoring her, so she might step forward again. And there he is. He either didn't notice, was looking at something else. We've got a little... So now she's going to step towards him and then go back again and make sounds. But he might have been looking at the peanut gallery over here. They're all waiting their turn to get on him and give him a little goodbye spin. So now she'll get him going that way. But anyway, I don't want to do the whole, super long thing of lunging, but she'll raise the whip. She'll make sure his ear is on her, so that, she's not setting him up to fail. And then she'll raise the whip, and then he'll trot. She's getting the walk more. She's raising the whip now. Now she just had to tell him, and there he goes. So sometimes he'll go right when you ask with the whip. Other times you have to say something, and sometimes you have to crack the whip. You can cluck, kiss, whatever. So, and for him, he's never had any Western training, so kissing does not mean canter necessarily, although you can use it for that, but kissing just means gimme more. Same as clucking, it's just something different. So she'll do the same thing when she asks for the canter. She'll just raise the whip. Oh, she's doing that now. So there he goes. So that probably in a nutshell. So, I should show you a downward transition. What she's going to do is she's just going to turn. So now she's turned so that she's kind of, at the lunging angle. And then she'll turn her right shoulder towards his face, and he goes to a trot. So she'll do the same thing for a walk. And if he was on a lunge line, the same thing for a halt. So it's basically just she's turning her shoulder. If he's tracking right, she's turning her right shoulder so that it's kind of perpendicular to his shoulder or to his face, depending on how forward or back she is. If that doesn't make sense, just ask me. I hope I'm making sense. There's an ATV going by, so he's like, woohoo, tail up. So he's not afraid of them. It just got him. He can't see it. It's up on the other side of the blackberry bushes behind me. So Little animation. So she must have just asked him to trot by turning. Why don't you show the downward transition one more time?
From the...
Just for the trot to the walk, just with your the body language that you're gonna. Okay, so it's like she's, and then she turns back right away. Otherwise, he wouldn't know what she wants. So she turns. She sees him starting to respond, and she turns back to keep him going in the direction he's going. Now she's asking him to come in. All right, that's enough lunging.